The reason why I can talk about this so much, I'm just going straight with consciousness now, because I'm like, everything I say is like gold. So let me like record it all and share it all. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much, and pray that you feel, extremely comfortable to blow up the comments with whatever you're thinking and feeling at the moment, because this is really, really, really good stuff. And the more that we, share about it, the more that we're able to get to conclusions about things and know that we're not alone, know that we're not the only ones that experience this. And for me, what I just experienced and witnessed was that, like, it was really, it was uncomfortable for me to share about, the realities of just like what I think and what I feel, because I don't really see them. I don't really hear anyone talk about it, so I just never really know if like that's something that other people go through as well. But in my heart of hearts, I know that so many people around the world are experiencing some form of what I'm talking about. And so I always share, because I know that, at the end of the day, like, I am not alone, and I'm not experiencing this only in myself. And that helps me so much in just processing my feelings and my thoughts, because I know that it's not just a me experience, I know that it's so many people around the world that have these same thoughts and feelings and want the same things. We all want the same things. So I feel very strongly about, like, the more that we express and share with each other, like, how we're feeling, what's truly coming up for us, and how we're truly feeling, and everything, and all in the allness of it all, the real rawness of it all, that we can really get to a good feeling space. And I think that's really important. I'm always going to come back to, honestly, race and just talking about that, because that is something that I'm very conscious of in my life, is racism, and societal racism. And so I think that, especially as like black and brown people of the world, which is really, everyone is just color, we're all people, and it's just really just systems that create the idea of division, so that some people can think that they have more, whatever the fuck, but it's really not true. So we're all just people, we're all one people. And I think that, as all one people, we all experience some form of this, just the same stuff, and we all want the same thing, which is to feel good and to enjoy our lives, just to be peaceful. So I think that, especially as black and brown people, because we do live in this world where white people are, if you just look at the structures of things, white people are the ones have gotten, like, the most representation in government for the most part. Well, it depends on where you live, but I think that even in different countries, just colonialism has been such a strong, like, thing that has impacted the world for centuries, that a lot of the world's, like, black and brown people, even though we make up the whole entirety of the world and the majority of the world, I think that mentally we have been oppressed, and put into spaces where we feel like we can't really talk about, what is really going on with us, because we have been oppressed. And I think that the way to freedom is to continue to talk about your experience, continue to see yourself as, like, the dominant power in your world, the one that's making the rules, the one that is creating everything that you see around you. And that goes for everyone. So that's how we know that this is beyond race. It's not about race, it's about humanity, and the fact that we are all creators. We all create, what is our world. But I'm really honestly always gonna focus on that point, because that is just really important to me. Is that, as especially as black and brown people, it is really important for us to mentally be in a space of knowing that, like we are so beautiful, we are literally innately born with, like, everything that we need to be great, which is the reason why other, quote unquote races, white people, have been in this world just fucking colonizing shit, and creating weirdo systems, because, black and brown people are the people, and we all are the people. So it's like separation is not real. And I think that as and I think that what kind of just is painful for me in my experience is that, like, as a person with the consciousness that, you know, we're all connected, we're all love, everything is connected, that I don't see separation. I take it very hard when I am in a space of, I think that, like, people are not, you know, vibrating in that way. And I just do my best to just be kind to myself, because I realize that I have to give myself love before I can seek it in someone else who doesn't know, like, what is going on, you know, truly deeply. Like, they're not in tune, and that's okay. That's just their journey. It's not my journey. And I can be a reflection of what it looks like to be in tune by being in tune. So I focus on that, and I focus on, you know, cultivating, like, my mental health, my spiritual health, and that is really important to me. And yeah, and so outside of that, you know, I think that especially as Black and brown people, because of these systems that put white people on the top and literally just expand the world of whiteness to make it seem like it's so huge, even though it's literally like 1%. And that's what, I guess maybe that's where the 1% comes from. I have no idea, but it's literally just like 1% of like actually what's going on. And I think that as Black and brown people get more confident, and because we're already confident, you know, we're already so fucking amazing just as we are. I think that as the world balances out and we realize that, like, these systems and things in place, and these mostly mental and thought like patterns that have been dominating for so long are starting to dissolve, because everything is balancing out, because everyone is we're all coming into the awareness, especially in the shift in consciousness, moving into like 5D new earth, which you guys can totally check out on YouTube. More videos about, even graffiti affirmations. We have a video about what is 5D graffiti affirmations with a Z on YouTube. You guys can check out. And so with this shift in consciousness, you know, we're moving in light, we're moving in awareness that all is one, all is connected. Every single person on the plane is connected. Every single person on the plane is family. Every single person on the plane is, you know, like, is like, is a creator of their reality, and is worthy and deserving, and is their birthright to feel good, to live in their purpose, to do the things that they were naturally born into this world to do and called to do, and just doing it because that is just what they were born to do. And really, when you think about like ancient Egypt and like those periods of time, that is what people did. You know, they were like, people came into this world and they looked at, okay, well, what am I naturally gifted with? What is my skills, and what is my purpose? And so how can I like outlive that? And then that is the purpose of your life, is to outlive your purpose. And there's still societies like this in the world where there's a lot of places in the world where, like, that is how you exist and that is how you live. And so I think that, I don't know, for me, I would really like to see you guys comment so that I can know, because this is just all coming out of the mind that I'm moving through right now, and I know that it's very universal, and that we all have thoughts about this, we all have feelings about it. So I'm really just excited to keep talking, you know. I'm really just excited to like keep expanding on it, because I know that I know that this is so huge, and that so many people are, you know, experiencing in this way and having their own, like, you know, own experiences and things that they think and feel about it. So please comment, share, please. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, like, I can only speak from my perspective and from who I am and how I am and how I move through the world at this moment in time. So that's just that awareness. And yeah, I just feel very strongly about like race and racism. My mom is like a lawyer, so I grew up hearing about racism and having discussions about it, like, back and forth, and also like you know, just doing things like this, being in my community and like doing things where we go out and we're seeing like just the effects of racism, and just being like, okay, well, what can we do? Like, what can we create, and how can we like move in a way that creates something better? And it's really emotional and it's really deep, and I think that it's and this is speaking from like kind of like perspective of like being like a black American perspective in Atlanta, Georgia, in the States. So you guys, you know, shout out like where you're from, like shout out like what's your country, you know, like everything like that, because like it's a party, and it's a human party, you know. I'm like really we're focused on like uh, like my the way that my family like and my upbringing mind state was is very Africa centered. So you know, we know that Africa is the cradle of civilization. We know that Africa is where all life stems from, and so Africa is like is the birthplace. It's the motherland of every being in existence on this plane, and so I always turn back to that as like the center. And also my family is African. We're Ghanaian on my mom's side, so shout out. You know, you guys are African from African countries. Like, put your country. Let's be like hype about it. Put your flag, and then like you know. So that's just that, and then that goes for everyone everywhere. So you know, Africa is the cradle of civilization, and then there's countries all over the world where we are all just, you know, expressions and expansions of like one source. You know, we all come from the same source of creation, of humanity. So we're all one, we're all connected, and every single person on this plane is family. Every single person on this plane is connected, and so that's why separation doesn't exist and does not even make sense as a concept to be entertaining. So we're not gonna do that. But yeah, I'm very grateful to like be in this space and talking with you guys. And I made a video about like 2 seconds ago that posted on Graffiti Affirmations 2 on YouTube, where it talks about system. It's called Systems, School, Job, Creating Your Own Reality. So you guys, if you want to like talk more about this topic, you can go hit up the comment section over there. Go check out that video. It's about 25 minutes, and yeah, just let us know. You know, what is your experience with like being a being in the world, being a person of color, especially, or not even person of color. I don't like to say that because we're all colored people. I like to just say being a person that is not white. Possibly could be a better way of going about it, and not classified as white. And you know, what is your experience? What are your thoughts about these things? The more that we share, the more that we, you know, can get different perspectives and start to remember that we're not alone. We're not the only ones going through this, and anything that we're experiencing, you know, there's always someone else who has felt this, who has gone through this, and you know, can shed light on what you're experiencing, you know, and connect with you. So you guys make friends in the comments, have a good time, and this is a safe space to connect and commune with like minds. This is Graffiti Affirmations, and if this is your first time here, welcome, and we love you, we appreciate you, we're here to pour good things into you, love you as you are, and remind you that all is well. So thank you so much, and peace and love. My mindset is very like white people think that they are the center of the world because they have created a system in which they literally exist as the center of the world in a lot of their spaces. And I think that I come into the space with an awareness of like, you are not the center of the world. Like there is a whole world that is like just is. So I don't know, I come to spaces like that with that awareness, and I think that it can be kind of, I don't know, it feels kind of funny, kind of jarring to like come to the space like that and be like, yeah, like I exist, and like I have a whole existence that is, you know, it's just an existence, and like you're what you got going on is not like the only thing that is happening, and there's a lot more that's happening in this world, and you're not really aware of it because you're just existing in this little small shit. I mean, that's how I feel, and I never, you know, I'm so mindful with my words. Like if I feel that I can't say something positive to someone, I'm just not gonna talk. I'm just not gonna say it because I don't believe in speaking negativity to people. I don't believe in, you know, like speaking in mean ways to people. Like I just don't do that. So if I can't say something nice, then I just remove myself from the situation. And so I found myself in a lot of spaces where I just remove myself because I'm like, you know, I what I do is that like I slowly, you know, like I just show up as I am, and then I do my best. I just speak how I feel, and then, you know, I observe how it's received. And if I think that we can continue to have conversations, then we continue to have conversations. And if I think that we can't, then I just don't spend time there because I'm not trying to waste my breath. And also like not that I would ever waste my breath, because, you know, sharing is caring. But I'm just like, I'm not gonna do that, because I feel like what that does in the end is makes me feel upset. And I think that's why for so long I felt this like pent up energy just being in these school spaces, because I enter the school spaces that I've been in that are mostly white. You know, I have been in classes where I'm the only black person, and maybe there's one other person that is like Indian or something like that, and that's kind of like been that's really literally that's been like a lot of my school environments, classroom spaces. And then that's reflected in like just like the general population of my school as well. And then I go to hang out with like other people in surrounding schools, and it's like kind of the same thing. So it's just a lot of like the sameness. And I come to this space and I'm like, okay, well, can we talk about racism? Because can we talk about racism? And that's really a lot that comes up for me, because it's just, I think about it every day. You know, I think about it every day. And it's not yeah, I think about it every day. You guys totally, you know, please comment, you know, your thoughts and feelings about this, because and this is all just happening inside of me, and I know that I'm not the only one that experiences this way. But yeah, so I enter these white spaces and I think about just like, okay, well, can we just talk about something that is like really going on in the world, and something that is affecting me present day, and that, you know, is like something a part of my experience. And if I feel that like I can't talk about it, then I just exit and I go to spaces where I can. And that's really been helpful to just remind me that, like, you know, don't try to get something from sources that can't provide you what you need. You know, if you're looking for a feeling, because really what I'd be looking for is just peace really, in any situation, any circumstance. I just want to experience peace. I want to, yeah. So if I'm thinking that like where I'm at is not really conducive to that, then I just choose another environment. I just go somewhere else, and it's okay, because I know that I know that I'm great. I like myself. I love myself inside of myself. I know that my light is valuable, and that any space I enter, I'm raising the vibration of that space. You know, I'm making it better just by me being there, by me existing. And so if I feel like I'm in a space where my light is not being valued, you know, I'm in there, and then I'm like, but no one is really, you know, asking me how I'm doing. No one is really paying attention to me or trying to understand me. And it's not an egocentric thing. It's just a awareness of like, hey, this person is here, and maybe I don't know everything about, like, you know, where they're from, or like what life experiences they've had. Maybe I can try to, you know, be open to that, and listen and try to understand. And it's just, I do that for others, so I know what it feels like. I know what the experience is like. And so that's when I get irritated, when I feel that people are just not, you know, just not aware, you know, aware. So I just give up. I really just give up, and I move on, because I know that there are places and spaces out there that I do feel appreciated in. I do feel I can fully express myself and be received in, and I create those spaces for myself, because I deserve to, you know, feel good. And it's not a selfish thing. It's literally a self-full thing. It's a self-love thing, of knowing that you are, you know, like you're important. Like, your life matters. You know, you feeling good matters, and being in spaces and places that cultivate feeling good matter. And those can be internal spaces. You know, the mental space that you keep of yourself. Those can be physical spaces, the places that you go and spend time in, and they can also be digital. So like how we're talking right now and having chats together, and you guys are commenting in the comments how you think and how you feel, so that we can all share with each other what's going on with us, because, you know, everything that comes up for us is beautiful. It's perfect exactly as it is. And that's really been a journey of mine, is just like reminding myself every single day that, like, you know, even if I'm in a space where I don't really feel like I can express like what is truly going on with me, because it's not really being received, it's just how I observe, is that, you know, I create that space for myself, and I expand that space. And then if people want to come and, you know, join that and be a part of that, then that's beautiful. You know, like, all are welcome here. And then at the same time, you know, it's like, I just recognize that, like, I create that space. You know, I create the world that I want to see, and I don't expect it to just be outside of me, even though it would be nice. in the grander scheme of things to see that. But you know, I don't trip. I just create what I want. I create what I want to see. I create it every day, and it's beautiful. And you guys are here, so we're all chilling together, and it's a good vibe, and we're expanding and we're growing in love. Um, and yeah, I don't know. That's just been like a huge part of my experience, like being in school thus far, is that just that feeling of like you guys are not like we're like what are we gonna talk about is really what I think and really what I feel, because I'm like, if we have a conversation and you're like a white person and you're not aware of like just the basic things that like affect my everyday life, then I will make you aware. And if you don't want to be aware, then I'm not gonna keep trying. And what I notice is that like there's a lot of people in this world that like there's a lot of people not in this world I'll say, but there's a lot of people in like the school systems that I'm in right now. You know, I even as I'm in Japan, you know, I'm here and I go to school with Japanese students, and then there's a lot of American students in the majority of my classes that are from, you know, all over the world, and I bring up things in my class about how you know, I feel that I came to Japan because I genuinely don't believe that like my country does not have my best interests at heart and does not care about me, and that I'm basically looking for another way of going about existing that is not dependent on American government to support me, because I just don't believe that that is helpful to me, you know, because like look at the shit I'm looking at now, but you know, we create what we want to see, we create good, and yeah, and so I bring that up in my classes. I literally brought that up in like this peace class that I'm taking, and it was pretty much just silent in the room. I don't think anyone said anything except for my professor, and he was just like, okay, and then we just moved on. But he's a really cool guy, you know, like he's really chill, and every time I bring up something, like he really does engage me, so like I appreciate that a lot, because no one else is saying anything. There's one other girl. There's this girl that she's black and she's from Tennessee, and she's really nice. She's really chill. And when I say stuff, like she does tag on to me and just like be like, hey, yeah. But I don't know. I think that like most people that I'm encountering in these like school spaces are not really up to the task of talking, and I don't want to like put that on them, because you know everyone has the capacity to change. So as I speak these things and I observe these things, I also give myself and them room to change. You know, to grow, to literally just think new things and be new ways that they want to be, because it's all a choice that we make every single second. So you could choose to be curious. You could choose to be like, oh, well, I never thought about that. Maybe I'll just start to think about that more. But you know, you can't force people to just be anyway. So I just talk my shit, and then I remind myself constantly, daily, that you know, to talk my shit. Like, don't keep it inside. And if I think something and I feel something, express it and make it known, because you know, even if you don't see it in your physical reality, or like the people around you are not talking about it, that doesn't mean that it's not valid and that it doesn't exist and that it's not, you know, a real thing for you. It's a real thing for you, and so you know, talking about it is the way that you free yourself from it and create new, better things that you enjoy and that you like. And it's really great. So just, yeah, expressing yourself, like sharing, and knowing that you're not alone in that experience. And that's with anything, you know. I think about a lot of things, because I share quite frequently on Instagram, different posts and topics that come to my mind. You know, empathy, communication, healing, lots of spirituality stuff. And what I noticed is that you know, people kind of what I noticed is that like the majority of the people that like are on my page and that like, you know, support and follow us at Graffiti Affirmations and are tapped into the community, you know, it's like everyone is like watching and noticing, and people are commenting, and then I think that like sometimes it's just like, you know, we don't want to like put ourselves out there so much, but I think that I just think it's a really good thing, you know. It's a great practice to like just to get in tune with yourself and what you really think and what you really feel, and just really share it, you know. It's like there's no shame. It's not a bad thing, and even if it's hard to get out, just the very fact that you're trying and that you're getting it out is going to leave you feeling better. And that's the whole thing, is that it's really for you. It's really for you to feel better and to enjoy your life more, because you deserve to live with a clear mind and a light heart, feeling good and feeling free, and knowing that, you know, whatever you experience is not meant to just be experienced inside of you. Your experiences are for the collective, you know, to grow and heal all of us together, because, you know, we're all one and we're all connected, and everything that we experience is, it can be a point of light, it can be a point of connection, in light, you know, point of connection of like, hey, wow, I didn't know that you were also feeling this way, and like maybe these are things that we can do to, you know, help share and help each other. Maybe we can be friends, we can support each other on our journeys, because we are not alone. We are truly never alone. So that's really the purpose of this space, is just to co-create, is to get people talking, is to generate conversation around these topics, and know that, you know, as you're thinking and feeling, like, you're not alone. You're not the only one that experiences this, and it's a good thing for you to express and share about it. And, you know, this is a place for that. And you can bring up anything you want. If there's topics that you just want us to talk about, you know, you can share that. And yeah, we're just gonna keep growing and expanding. And for me, like, I'm really excited, because in about, I don't know, a few weeks, I'll be back home in Atlanta, and in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be with my friends, and we'll be making content and having more people on the channel. So that's really exciting, and it's gonna grow us a lot and make us have really interesting conversations with lots of points of view, that you guys are all going to be tuned into. So, you know, look forward to that. Watch out for that. Let's get excited. And we love you so much. We're so appreciative and grateful to have you here. And thank you, and peace and love.